What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 46 of Buckets of Duckets. I am your host, Chase Myers, in Seattle, Washington, down there in Louisiana. Just knocked out a bang. My co-host, the one, Josh Watts.
Good evening, shitheads. This is episode
good
43.
Evening.
I actively in my brain tried to make sure I didn't do that because I've laughed at that since we edited. Good evening, shitheads. It'll never not be funny. When we were editing, this is episode 46. That's one more than the last episode we did, and somewhere in between there, I got on stage and goddamn blew Lafayette's butthole straight up into heaven with some goddamn jokes. That's what happened. Blew they butthole straight up. Butts were exploding. It was like popcorn popping, just butts exploding all over the seats. So many horde pussies and wet dicks. Just a flopping and popping, bro. Woo! It was gross. Gross. That's
Thank you, everybody, for tuning
right
in. There it is, dude. That's 46. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe if you're watching us on YouTube. Leave a comment, like the whole thing. Podcast listeners, what's up, what's up, what's up? Make sure you subscribe. Leave a review on Apple, you motherfuckers. I just would like you to hit 5 stars. Can you just stop right now and hit 5 stars? Can you just goddamn do that? Just one fucking thing. Josh is over there exploding buttholes. You can't push the goddamn button. Can we fucking get this going?
Fucking week we give you this podcast goal. We ask one thing of you besides some other things that we also ask of you, and that's mostly give us a 5-star review. But mostly this one thing and the other stuff too. 5 stars. Click
it. All right, Josh. So Josh did his first show last night. We're recording this on Saturday, the 10th of April. Josh last night performed for the first time in over a year. You haven't performed since December of 2019, whenever I was down touring last time, right?
Yeah, that was the last time I went on stage. Was your show in December of 2019. God damn.
And it turns out you're still the greatest?
Bruh. All right. I'm going to take, hey shitheads, hop on my huge muscular back. Let's take a ride down to Comedy Town. This is what happened, all right?
Josh knows the way.
I have been locked inside this fucking house for a year and a half with my children. I couldn't wait to get out yesterday. I cranked up Yacht Rock. I was screaming on the spillway all the way down. People were staring at me thinking they would embarrass me by looking at me singing. And I'm fucking, nah, dude, I'll flex.
Nah, dude.
Go ahead, get your Instagram picture of this. Take a picture of that, huh? All them hard pussies in your fucking, in your feed then.
You're welcome for going viral.
But I get to Lafayette, and it has been so long that I parked on the street and was like, I don't think you can just park. You can't just park a car in the street.
You can't just park in streets, right?
There's a meter right here. I'm like, I have to put money in that, right? It's after dark. And I was like, I think I have to put money in it. I went and looked, and it was like, after business hours, it's free parking. I was like, yeah, but what do they consider business hours? And it had been so long since I'd been in the world. I was like, now I'm going to go park in a dark parking garage around the corner where nobody can see me.
That's where I feel comfortable. I know I'm safe over there.
Tell you what, though, it did make me feel good because when I parked in the garage, I was on the second floor over like, if I tapped the gas on my car, I could have ended the show before it ever started because I was directly over the tents. Like,
oh, that's right, because y'all performed in a tent last night.
One tap of the gas, and I could have ended the whole fucking thing.
It's like a Bill Burr. Bill Burr's got that bit about people having psycho thoughts, and he was like, you ever just been driving on the road and see somebody on the sidewalk and just think, what if I just turned right now? He's like, just that little bit of turn, just 3 inches to the right. It's the worst tragedy in modern history. Stay right here. Boring life.
Man, I got there. I didn't know. It's been a long time since I've been at a show, so I was really excited just to be.
How are your nerves?
Bad, real bad.
Yeah.
I'm trying. I was trying to think if there was anything good leading up to it. Dude, I thought I was gonna throw up. I was real sweaty and I was really nervous. I was trying to remember what jokes I had that were good and like trying to remember them. And I had nothing. I couldn't remember a goddamn joke I've ever told. I snuck around at the show because it was Stone versus Drunk versus Sober. And I allegedly snuck around the corner to smoke CBD. Legal.
Yeah, just to relax yourself. Yeah.
To relax myself. I'm pointing around this like you can see the trailer in Lafayette from around.
Oh, I see that trailer over there.
Yeah, it's back there.
I see it over there.
And I watched YouTube videos of sets I've recorded before to try to refresh my brain.
Mm-hmm.
And all that. I only have like 7 or 8. I don't know if any of them are public. I watched as many of them as I could stand there. And Chase, I for real was like, oh, I'm not doing any of this.
Did it feel like watching like a completely different person?
Yeah. Yeah, it did. It felt like it. Yeah. Everything it felt like somebody else. I didn't feel like that was. I don't know. I didn't feel like that was me.
I had such a hard time coming back after not performing for so long. It's crazy considering just how consistent I was for so long with performing, multiple times a week and the whole thing.
A decade.
And I take 6 months off and suddenly I'm like, can I do this at all? Like, is it like, how did I used to stand up there for 45 minutes and control the crowd and make people laugh? Like, it's crazy how like, you're like, that almost feels like that wasn't me.
And they were like a loud and kind of rowdy crowd. And so I was
like, Lafayette.
Oh, man. Yeah, right. So I was getting I was like, I thought I was going to throw up. Like, I honestly thought I was going to throw up before. And he called my name. And, dude, I have always done it where I like to walk out and just stare at the crowd for a minute and just... I'm okay just standing here staring at you, or are you okay just staring at me? Let's just get it out of the way. I don't know why I've always done it's like a power move for me to just stare at him for a while. And the second I touched the microphone, it felt natural again.
Yeah.
It felt so good to be up there. I immediately started out and won the crowd over. I talked about quarantine looks. And I told the entire audience, I said, I see everybody here went with dumpy and pale.
That looks in. That look is in right now. It looks hot.
I told him.
I've been trying to do. Yeah, right before the podcast, I just told you this. I just like went for a walk because the sun is finally out in Seattle, and that only happens like one day a week right now. And so I was like, I gotta go, or I'm gonna be pasty forever. Like I have to do something.
It was in my brain that I had to insult them right out of the gate just to make sure they know the power.
Yeah,
the
give them a
power
little shot.
Structure here.
Give them a little shot, a little jab.
You need to know.
Start with
everybody else has come out here. Everybody else come out here kissing your ass because they want to win a trophy. I'm here to fuck your world up with truce. You hear me? No. I said that. I told him about that, dude. When I said don't be.
What's your quarantine look?
Oh, I told them that. I told everybody that their quarantine look was dumpy and pale, obviously, and I was worried that they were gonna turn on me. But I waited just long enough for them to get a little weird. And I said, mine is obviously creatine Santa Claus. And I said, every year on Joe Rogan's birthday, I ride a kettlebell down your chimney and deliver Bang Energy and DMT to the good children.
That's so good. That's so goddamn good, dude.
Dude, they popped. And I came up with that backstage, and I told Mike Honore and a couple people, should I do this? Because I wasn't sure. Yeah. And I said, fuck it, I'm going to do it. And when it popped, I was fine. Because I had thought of that right before, and it went over, and I was like, oh, I'm good. And as soon as it was fine. As soon as I started talking, and I went into, all right. So I decided I didn't want to do I didn't like any of my old material. But I had a joke I had been working on for a long time about me trying to pet a coyote because I didn't have my glasses on and I thought it was a dog. And it's always done great. I've worked on it at Mike's for a couple of months, and it's usually the whole 5 minutes or whatever. And I started to do it last night, just like I had 5 minutes left or whatever in the set, and I just went into the bit. And the second I started, I didn't remember any of it.
Yeah.
And so I took the idea and the premise and just added it and just kind of went fresh with it. And it worked. And I've missed that. So I've missed so much trying to be sharp on your toes on stage.
Yeah, on that tightrope while you're out there.
Oh,
yeah.
Man, I fucking missed it so much.
Is that story, is it based in like any reality, or is it just like a goofy thing?
Well, yes, sort of. I was running one morning, and it was like 4 a.m, and it was dark and kind of rainy, and I didn't have my glasses on. So I can see shapes, like I can look and go, oh, that's a dog, but I can't tell, anything else.
You can't tell if it's a coyote.
Right. So I saw a dog one morning, I just ran over and squatted down, stuck my hand out, and it walked right over, and I started petting it. And then I got up and took off running again. And like a quarter mile down the road, I was like, oh, what if that had been a fucking coyote? Like, I just assumed it was a dog without even thinking about it. And the bit now is I see this dog and I think, I want to pet him. Does he want me to pet him? And then he starts smiling at me and showing me all his teeth. So obviously he's in for it. And I get closer and I'm getting ready to pet him. And he's so excited about me petting him that all the hair on his body's standing up. And,
just like our dogs do.
And I build to it. And then my neighbor runs out with a rifle and shoots the dog. And I don't have glasses on. So I'm like, holy fuck, he shot his new dog rather than let me pet it. What kind of world? What has Trump turned us into is what I screamed. What has Trump made us is what it's so stupid. And I just kept rolling with it, and it found a good. I don't want to ruin the whole thing here in case anybody ever comes and sees me do a set, but it rolled. It was the perfect set to help me get my confidence back.
Do you think doing the podcast every week helped? Like help keep you sharp?
100%. Yeah.
I felt that too whenever I got back out.
I have a competitive spirit in me with you. And it's not competitive. I want to make you laugh. So I'm always even not doing stage stuff. When we do our show, I'm still thinking, not like you're an audience member, but I'm still thinking of how to get you to laugh. So I'm still so I think people didn't believe that I hadn't been on stage in a year and a half. I got a couple of dubious looks about it. Dubious, you like that?
I do like that.
Big words,
well, that's
bitches.
on them, bro. That's how far behind they were. Okay, so you could take a fucking year and almost a half off and still be shining.
I thought, dude, I really did think there was a point where I was like, if I do this tonight and it's bad, like I could just not do comedy anymore and just do a podcast. Like that might be the way that life goes now. And man, the second I got on stage, I was like, oh no, I'm doing this until I'm dead.
This is it. This is the best feeling in the world.
I love this more than anything. This is it.
Yeah. I'm leaving my family. I'm done. I'm gone. I'm moving to New York. Everything happens now. I'm a star, baby. I'm a star. I had this one joke that I wrote. I haven't done it on stage yet. And it's kind of that same thing where it's like, it didn't really happen, but I just thought, like, what if this did happen? And
none of mine really happened.
And, yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of our stuff is based in, like, a moment of truth and then, some exaggerations or whatever from there.
I've petted a dog before.
Yours a little less than most. But I had this thought about how it's still fucking... I still wake up in the morning to go to work and there's frost on my windows still, right now. It's April. What the fuck? And so, I hate it. Like, it gets to 55. I don't like it either. Listen to this switch that happened in my life. For 26, 27 years growing up in Louisiana, when it hit 50 degrees, I was freezing. Now,
the world shuts down.
5 years in Seattle, whenever it hits 50 degrees, I'm like, oh, it's warm out. Ooh, maybe
You're
I don't
those
have
assholes
to
that wears your shorts.
Yeah. Well, no, now I don't have to wear a second jacket over my hoodie and everything. Now I could just wear a hoodie. This is nice. And so one day, like a year or so ago, it was real cold. It snowed. I'm sitting in my car. I don't have a scraper to scrape the ice off of my car. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not built that way. That's not a thing that I ever had to worry about in my life. And I'll just go forever without taking care of it myself. If I got to sit there for 40 minutes while all my shit defrost, then that's the hand I was dealt, baby. I don't know what you want me to do.
I might turn the water on and run the wipers once or twice over it. Yeah. That's the most I'm going to do.
That's what I can do. Wait. I guess I'm going to sit here. I guess I'm just going to
Mother Nature doesn't want me to hurry, obviously. So who am I? Who am I to question nature?
Who am I to push Mother Nature? Okay, look, this is the world telling me to take a step back, calm down. And so I'm sitting there just relaxing, right? And then I hear somebody tap on my window. Josh, terrifying. I can't see shit outside my window.
Unacceptable.
I have no idea what is outside my window at 6:45 in the morning while I'm sitting in my car like Walter White, about to go fucking kill some Nazis.
That's what. Now it's a Rougarou.
And it's a Pacific Northwest Rougarou, bro. It's out here, and so it's the Ghoul of Gray's Harbor. That's Travis Nelson taught me about that dude. I open the door, and it's just like a nice guy that lives in the houses that I'm parked in front of, and he gives me an ice scraper, and I was like, "Oh man, that's thank you." And so that's still the ice scraper I use, right? So here's the part
he was like, "Here, use this," and you drove away with it.
Yeah, I just was like, "Thanks, bro," and it just took off. No, he gave it to me.
Pushed him down, drove away.
Yeah.
How sad is that? They're like, "Look at this poor little idiot outside. He's gonna sit in that car for an hour until the ice melts." Paul, go give him one of those ice scrapers.
That's exactly what happened.
The boy's gonna die.
The boy, he's not right. The boy's not right. He can't.
Is that license plate in St. Louisiana? He's gonna be dead in a week. You better get out there.
He's bless his heart. He had no chance. I don't even say bless his heart out here.
Bless his heart.
And so the part that I wrote that was extended was like, I thought it would be funny if I saw that same situation later, if I saw somebody else iced over and like, oh, I'm going to pay it forward. And, but because I remember me being scared when they knocked on my window, I would just use the scraper to scrape the ice on the window so that I can see them. And then the joke I wrote is whenever I scraped it, it was a dude jacking off in the car. And that's my. I haven't done it on stage yet, but I think it's so different than anything else I ever write because nothing I ever write is
I never
dirty
expected
like that.
it. Yeah.
And
I didn't expect that.
But I wrote it the other day and it made me laugh, and I keep thinking about it, and I just keep thinking about wiping the ice off of somebody's car. And
dude, I like that. That's a good bit.
Yeah, so I don't know. That might be something.
I'm gonna tell you something that's gonna fuck with your head right now, and I know he's listening to this, and I know he's watching this.
Ooh, this for you.
Morgan Wright had a bit last night that was good.
Oh, okay. So he's changed his style up.
Yeah, it's totally different from him. It's a new approach from him completely. He decided to go funny. Huh. I told right before I walked on stage, I told Jace, I said, I'm about to blow your mind because this whole year and a half I've been off, I got red pilled real hard. I'm super right wing now, and I took the mic and ran on stage.
I've read a lot of interesting stuff, so
there's a lot of I've done a lot of research.
Okay, people are saying, people.
I'm gonna put it out there. I want to timestamp it because I don't know if Morgan's recorded this yet or not, but I'm gonna edit this in so that it can be my bit and I can keep it.
Oh, good. Let's take this.
Morgan said he's drank so many Monster Energy drinks over his life that any kid he has is named Kyle by default.
That is really funny. That's a good bit. Good bit, Morgan.
Yeah, I laughed really hard at that. That's the only thing he's ever said that made me
ever. No, we love you, Morgan. You know that. So, how did it was like a competition show, right? It was drunk versus stone versus sober.
It's stone.
Who are the dorks that were sober? Some of them sober dorks.
This sober dork and I have matching Godsmack tattoos that we found out. That's the weirdest fucking thing ever. I have the
same placement.
Same placement. Almost identical tattoos, and when we started joking about it, we also do almost identical bits about that tattoo. When I used to try to justify it, now I just fucking dare somebody to make fun of it. But I used to feel like I had to justify it when I was a coward.
I don't gotta explain shit to you.
No, this guy, his name is Brian Gendron. I met him. He's a Houston comic. He has a podcast called Breaking Bits.
Okay.
And there's a reason. And he tells me he's got his whole bit. We talk about how funny it is that we have matching tattoos and how similar the bits are. And he's like,
y'all both do jokes about it. Y'all both do jokes about the Godsmack tattoo.
Not anymore. I did. But we talked. He's like, I got a bit about it. And he tells me his bit. And I was like, that's funny because I have a bit. And I told him the bit. I do it sometimes, depending. Like if I'm at a country club show, I would mention my neck tattoo. But now it's not even worth it. Probably don't have sleeves on, so the neck tattoo is low on the stuff on the list of things I need to explain to be in an expensive place now. But he started telling me a bit very similar, and he goes, "But I end my bit with because he met a guy in a crowd who had one, and he's like, it's like I met my intellectual equal." And he's like, it was very disappointing though, because instead of like deep conversation, we were both just like, and he like grunted like a gorilla. And it's a good bit.
That is
and
good.
He was when he was sober, he was last night closed out the show, and he went on stage and he did the bit, and then he mentioned Creatine Santa Claus from earlier, and the crowd popped for me. I got a Road Warrior pop just at the mention of my name at a show. I was on 4 people earlier, and he said that about the intellectual equal and like did the caveman thing, and the crowd turned on him. They thought he was making fun of me, and they turned on him. They rushed the stage. Because it's such a good joke. And they stomped the shit out of that dude.
Well, look, man. If you come for the crowd favorite, that's what's going to happen.
There was a moment where he said, and it's a solid bit. He's a good dude. He was funny. But there was a moment where the crowd was like, I don't know, we kind of like that dude. But Team Sober,
we don't understand.
Team Sober didn't come. Nobody.
How could they?
Even if they're funny, they won't win. Even if they're funny,
Team Sober ever win?
Right. Because the crowd is like, fuck you. You think you're better than me? That's what I would think.
We're at a bar. Yeah.
And it came down to Team Drunk and Team Stoned, which was me and that guy Brian had a podcast partner, named Drew. And Drew is not a heavy... Oh, he's not a heavy smoker. And it fucked with his head a little bit. He was like, I felt like I was really slow. And I was like, you're not even on stage. You didn't even go on stage. No, but Team Drunk won at the last. I didn't want to get into this. But everybody on here knows that we've had our issues with Google, YouTube's, Spotify, Joe Rogan's podcast, the
Nate
people
Bargatze.
at Sesame Street. Nate Bargatze,
Conor McGregor,
a couple of boy bands the K-pop group that we don't like,
Rusty and Dusty, podcasts, and they dirty pants.
Everybody that shit they pants, all of them have teamed up together, and we're in that crowd last night.
Of course they were.
That I didn't win because what I did, Chase, what I did, I walked out on that stage like this is what. I brought this on the stage. Trapsaw Jim Duggan came out on stage delivering true patriotic gold, right?
Yeah. Amazing. Fucking amazing. How you've not said that to me at some point, I don't know. But my good job, sir. Well done. You've made comedy proud with that. It's an honor.
So I thought of that the other night, and I've been trying to find a way to cleverly slip that in because I knew you would appreciate Trapsaw.
Well, you fucking nailed it. You goddamn destroyed my face just now. So I couldn't even. It was so good. I couldn't even laugh. I was just, oh my god, that's. Start clapping now.
I've been doing that. I've been doing it as a joke to Michelle. I've been calling myself Trapadonis Rex. I've called myself just all kinds. I've just been calling myself anything, trap jaw, any kind of trap thing I could think of. I've been trying to call myself just as a joke to her. But Trapsaw Jim Duggan, I said last night, and I was like, I'm going to save that because I got to tell Chase. Oh, hey, I want to tell you another thing. There's a guy that listens to this podcast, and his name is Blaine, and he's Morgan's buddy. We know Blaine.
What's up? Oh, okay. That Blaine. Yeah, I know Blaine.
Love Blaine. Until last night. I'm going to tell you what Blaine did last night. At this show in Lafayette, we're standing around in the circle, in the comedian circle, right? It's me. It's your boy Mike Honoré.
Yeah.
It's Morgan Wright. It's Jason Leonard. There's a whole bunch of other people in a comedy circle, right? Blaine is standing there and he goes, oh shit, there's Chase. And everybody turned around and was like, oh shit. And it was Chase Bonnet.
Poor Chase.
And and Morgan said, oh man, I thought you meant Chase Myers. And I turned around, I looked Blaine Wright's face and said, you know what you did. And I'm going to tell Chase what you did. And then I didn't have my glasses on last night because I wanted to look extra tough for my first show. And I saw Chase Bonnet and I pointed at him like, hey. And I don't know if he recognized me, if he thought I was trying to fight him, because I didn't get like a wave or an acknowledgement. So I don't know if he thought, or if it was even Chase. It might not have been Chase. If you saw me at the show last night and I pointed at your face, it was me saying hi to your face It wasn't a threat. I realized.
I mean, it is now since he didn't acknowledge you, but
it is now. And he might have acknowledged me, but since you didn't acknowledge me in a big enough, physical enough motion for me to see it without my glasses on, you're on my list now. Number 2, right behind Dr. Phil McGraw. I watched too many Dr. Phil episodes on YouTube. I'm ready to take him out, bro. I've had it.
Yeah, he's got to go.
I've had enough of his bullshit.
It's been entirely too long.
I had to log into Facebook last night. Here's the problem, Chase.
Uh-oh.
Shows are starting back up. I'm vain and want those pictures of myself.
Right.
So I had to go in and add the people from the show in case they posted a picture of me. So I had to add them as friends. They're like, hey, I'm sending you a friend request. I'm like, all right. And to my shock, I was able to open Facebook and hit add on the couple of people and then close it out and not look at it.
You didn't dig? You didn't go look?
Didn't dig one fucking time. Because as I was adding them on friends, I was like, do I need to go look? Jason sent a message in the group Facebook message, like the group messenger with the picture. So I didn't have to go look. So, dude, I clicked add on a couple of the people from the show and saw all the other notifications and didn't. And the biggest thing is not ignoring it is that it hasn't eaten my brain up wondering what it was and like.
Yeah, good for you, bro. Just send me any pictures you want. Post it. I'll post them for you. I will post.
Thank you.
My best friend, co-host of my podcast.
I love that you won't let me get back on. I love it.
And is off of social media. Please, these likes are for him, and I will post that. I will absolutely post it. Yeah, it's good shit, man.
It felt so good to be back in the world, just to be out. Like, I haven't been out to anything at all, ever.
Yeah.
In a year and since all this started, and it was so good to just be out and to dare somebody to say something to me about not having a mask. No, I'm just kidding.
Red pill, bro. I had a show last night too. I performed at the Horsefucker City, and
Did you talk about it?
No, we did so well they forgot that ever happened. It's been erased from the history of Enumclaw. We have successfully elevated that place to a new spot. So
you're welcome.
You're welcome, Enumclaw. You're welcome. No, it was dope. It was at this place called the Chalet Theater. It's like a
terrible
movie
name
theater.
for a city. That's a terrible
Enumclaw?
name for a city.
It's not great.
Like when Horse fucking City is more catchy than the actual name of your city, you need to do some thinking about your city.
Just what are we doing here? You know, like what is this? What is this?
It's unacceptable, is what it is.
And so yeah, it was dope though. It was me, Travis Nelson, my roommate, 6'9", and Kermit Apio headlined it. Who is he's just a killer professional. He's been out in the Pacific Northwest area for 30 years. He's done everything in Comedy Central. He's got a great dry bar special, and yeah, dude, it was like. I was a little nervous. So it seats 500 people, and we can do up to 50%. By the way, I saw your show was fucking packed. You guys sold out too, didn't you? That was fucking amazing. Yeah, that was great.
I don't know
how
if
many people
sold
is
out.
that? Well, Jason posted that it sold out.
Oh, yeah, I don't know that. I don't know. He said they had like 60 pre-sales or something. Like it was the second most pre-sales they've ever had. The place in Lafayette, Worst Beer Garden, is an awesome venue, and it seems like one of those venues where people just come to regardless. Like you'll get some people that are just coming to go there because of whatever. But the walk up was like the people that bought tickets come in and then they just did not stop coming. Everybody would come up, and the sound is good enough that you can hear. If you're at the door and you're like, "Hey, what is this?" You can hear enough that you will want to come in. Like, no, I didn't see anybody leave when they walked up. So
yeah, it definitely seems like they want comedy there. It definitely, every time I see them post about that show, like any show they do there, it seems to always be full.
It's a Friday night. It's early. It's at a really good popular bar in the middle of downtown, and it's fun, man. It's a lot of fun. The crowd is really it's kind of a wild show where the crowd is pretty interactive, and you get to talk a lot of shit to them. There, it's fun. It's a good show.
That's pretty dope. So this venue, it's like I said, it seats like 500, but we can only do 50. We can only do 50% capacity. So I think we got like 120 or something like that, probably like that up in there.
I think we skirted that because it's in a tent.
Yeah.
Outside, but they didn't. It was. I mean, there was no seats anywhere.
Oh, I saw the pictures. Yeah, y'all were all making out with each other and stuff.
Yeah, spitting each other's mouths.
It's hot. It's just hot.
So where was it? It's a theater in Enumclaw, or is it a casino?
Yeah, it's a theater. It's like it's a one screen movie theater, but they do live performances and stuff there too. Like awesome. There's like a stage in front of the movie theater screen.
That's where the guy fucked the horse, right? Was on that
stage? Right on that stage, and then they videoed it, and now they show airings of it every Friday. Awesome, and dude. So yeah, it's a good time. It's what opened for us actually was the short film.
Here's a 3-hour video of a guy fucking a horse.
Yeah, and man, people just get fired up about it, dude. They just come out. It's they have a lot of pride, and what is funny is that the guy that died fucking that horse, however it happened, he is not from Enumclaw, and the people of Enumclaw will make sure to bring that up. That he's like, no, that's not our guy. He came from Seattle. They just happen to be horses in Enumclaw, but that's a Seattle fuck. That's what that is. Like,
if there was Seattle horses, he'd have fucked them. But there wasn't. That's why he came down here and tarnished our city.
And fucking dirtied our city. Just dirtied our name. And now people call us the horse fucker city. It's been 12 years. It's been 12 goddamn years. No horse fucking incidents in 12 years, and they still bring it up. Yeah, I didn't touch on it. It has been that venue does shows, like 6 or 7 shows a year of comedy stuff, and I seem to be, for whatever reason, on 2 or 3 of them.
Because you don't bring it up. You're the only guy who doesn't mention it.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Yeah, but it does seem like it's just kind of been, we've just been beating that dead fucked horse. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, Josh? Comedy? The comedy? The
rule of 30s?
But I flipped it because it's a horse that was fucked, but it's, okay. Yeah.
No, I get comedy.
Okay, good. I know you did. So yeah, it was dope. I decided it was like me and Travis were going to do 25-minute sets, and then Kermit was going to do whatever he felt like, and so whatever he wanted to do, and I was okay with it. And yeah, I was like, I'll host, because I usually guilt Travis into hosting, because I'm just like, you're just the best host. You're just so much better at hosting than I am, and it's just I'm not like from there. So it's not the same, like,
it'll be a turn off instantly.
Yeah, it's the accent and the whole thing. I'm more of like a novelty act, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta space me out. And so I decided, I was like, man, I'll just host. I was like, I'm not doing 25 minutes. That sounds like a nightmare. I'm gonna do 20 minutes. And they'll just like that.
It's a huge difference.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is a difference. And I went up and was having such a good time. I was like, actually, I'm doing 30. I'm gonna do more time than what I said I was gonna do. And yeah, it was just great, man. They were just like really receptive, really excited to be there. Travis killed. Travis, I felt so good for, because I've been really lucky in that I've been just performing a lot in the last few months, and but Travis has only got to do maybe a handful of sets, and the last one that he did was he headlined the Worst Club in Washington like a month or 2 ago, and it's pretty rough. And me and Travis usually do that show together. We've co-headlined that club together. It's the only club that's headlined me, we've always got lucky that we seem to be able to draw a little bit, and it can't, like, it wasn't bad. And but he told me, he was like, no, I finally got one of the bad ones where he had it's only one show a night, and it's now it's only Friday and Saturday. It used to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And so he was like, dude, I had to do an hour after not performing for a year, and there's 8 people, and they're angry at me. And that was like, that's what's been on him for the last month. Like, he hasn't got to get that off of him, and so it was really cool to like we just all got to really just flex. Like, they were right there for us. We all did really well. It was great watching Kermit, because he's such a pro, and that was and he hadn't performed at all live since the lockdown. He had done Zoom shows and stuff, and so I was like really interested in that. Yeah, it doesn't count at all. It's a completely different thing.
Not at all.
Yeah. But I was really excited to see him because I was like, I wonder if that like just 30 years of comedy, like if it just snaps back, like if he just jumps back into it, and pretty much, dude, like he was on fire. Like it was really impressive to see.
I definitely not 30 years, but we've been doing. Me and you have been at this over 10 years.
10, yeah.
And there was definitely a level of instinct, like. Even if I don't remember every detail of my bits, I remember how to be on stage. I remember how to time things. I remember where a punch should be, which I can't begin to tell you how much I've missed trying to hit it as you're, man.
Oh, it's the greatest feeling in the world.
I'm so fucking amped about it. I can't even get the words out.
It's the greatest feeling in the world. I had a goofy thought, and then I went out and I made people die laughing at this weird thing that was just a thought in my mind at one point. And now I can control a crowd repeating that.
They told me before I went up, oh, they're a little wild tonight. Don't, just don't let it get to you, which made me even more nervous. But to realize that I've done it long enough, and we've done so many horrible shows and fought so many crowds, that there's a level of, I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. Like, I mean, there is a level of, I don't know, you should have nothing. You type,
also, like, there's a level of confidence that I've had since we came back that really is just because I now know how bad it can get, because you took comedy away from me for a year.
Yeah.
And so I know what it's like now to not have comedy. So you can't hurt me. Like, you really can't hurt me. And so, there definitely is, like, I definitely do feel a little bit more of confidence. I seem to be giving off more confidence than what I even feel. I've had a lot of people come up and tell me, like, oh man, you're so polished and all this stuff. And it doesn't look like it's even though in my head I'm freaking the fuck out. Like, and I'm having all of these, like, just trying to get back my stage legs. That's what I like to say. I'm like still trying to get my like stage legs under me. I feel like I recorded myself last night and I watched the video and I noticed my new nervous tick, which you always point out was my old one was touching my face. Now it's I rub my belly. I just rub my belly a lot on stage. seems to be like that's where. That's where I'm comfortable. I kept doing. I was watching the setback this morning, and I kept going, "Stop fucking touching your belly!" And it's not like I'm putting my hand on my stomach and just leaving it there. I'm full like circle rubs on my belly while I'm like mid joke. Like
dude.
Yeah, that's what happens because I got a belly now. That's what happened in a year. I got a belly to touch, and so yeah.
It was nice. This is the first time I've been around anyone. Since I've been a little more serious about health, and like I've I've become this stunning mohawked meat castle.
Everybody was impressed. Everybody was impressed with what they saw.
Dude, it made me feel really good. I felt good, and I do forget sometimes that I look like this. And I was walking down the street in Lafayette, and people were noticing how fucking handsome I am.
It happens, bro. That's one of my favorite things is whenever I lost all that weight and had that little glow up a couple years ago. Dude, I love it. I like the attention. I don't give a fuck what that makes me sound like. I like being told I'm handsome. That's a good feeling.
People would move a little bit out of the way when I was walking by on the street and stuff. It was really one of the other comedians said, "Oh, the mohawked muscled up guy," and I was like, dude. He wasn't saying it to me. That's exactly how you describe me. That's exactly how you describe me. He said it to somebody else about me, and I was like, that's all I've wanted my whole life. You just did it for me. Drew. You just did it. That's it. You did it.
No idea
how much my wife gave me 2 children, but it doesn't mean anything next to a stranger calling me muscled up.
It really is what's important. Yeah, it really is.
But it was so good. It was so good to just be back in comedy. But I wished you were there.
Me too, man.
Because a huge part of comedy, and I think it might be a scene thing, but in Baton Rouge, like us, the in-between times are some of the most fun. All the shit talking and the dancing and the bullshit you do in between.
Well, we definitely had a tight camaraderie with our group. Like, there's 3 or 4 comics of us that we've been doing it together forever. That there's,
and me and Mike got to break a little of that last night, and bruh, it felt so good to just be dancing behind the show and talking about wet dicks and hard pussies. We were ruining people's meals because they're eating, like, it's a restaurant, so there's also, like, they're eating 3 feet from me and Mike grinding up, like, doing this, talking about hard pussies. Hard. Pussy's gonna be hard.
Yeah, me and Travis, that was the first show we've done together in over a year, you know. So like it was that same thing too of like, oh man, isn't this great? Like we're taking over the world again.
Yeah.
Look at us.
Yeah.
Look at us. We're the greatest comedians of all time. And look at what we did tonight. Yeah, I'm fired up, man. I'm fired up too. I'm about to go on the road for 2 weeks. So hold on, let me get some dates out right quick.
Yeah. I got some
April, hell yeah. April 14th through 17th next week, Wednesday through Saturday. I'm going to be in Little Rock, Arkansas at the Looney Bin Comedy Club. The week after that, the 21st through the 24th, I'll be at the Looney Bin, Oklahoma City. So yeah, man, okay. I'm ready to really get into it. That was a good last show before I go get on the road and go really like hammer it out. So I feel way more confident going to do these 2 clubs than I did a month and a half ago doing their other 2 clubs. You know, like I definitely feel.
I mean, one good set could get your confidence.
Yeah,
like the same way one bad set can shake you. One good set can really, but we've been doing it long enough that even if I had bombed last night, I don't know, like, it happens. Like, let me bomb and get it out of the way.
I lost comedy for a year.
I would love to bomb.
Yeah, I know exactly what it's like to just go to fucking work 5 days a week and live a regular ass, boring ass life. How do you dorks do it? How do you do it every day? Like,
May 13th, I am headlining at the Worst Beer Garden.
Yeah, encore performance.
Boom! So we're gonna go from 10 minutes of bullshit to I'm gonna shoot an hour and 45 minutes of just ad-libbing. What else I want to talk about? We said that last night so many times, me and Mike. What else? What's going on in the news? What else I want to talk about? How much time I got? I want to say that as soon as I walked on stage. I wanted my first thing to be, how much time I got?
I just want to make sure I time this right. Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Man. Go ahead.
I just wanted to apologize to anybody who watched a whole bunch of videos about a fake cop guy that I said I would talk about.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's on you, man. What are you doing promising topics for the next week? You know, we just talk about whatever's on our mind at the moment. Like,
I've already moved on from the Jeremy DeWitt. I told everybody, like, watch this, and we're going to talk about it for an hour and a half. I can't wait to dive into it. Go watch 74 hours of YouTube videos. We're going to get into it. And, like, within an hour of saying that, I was on to weirdos in the bodybuilding YouTube industry, and that's a rabbit hole I'll never dig out of.
So I didn't do my research on the cop thing. I knew you were full of shit.
We're too late to talk about it. Not getting into it.
All right, so you don't want to give like this little clip for the people that have been pining for it, the people that have been waiting. Did
so
all
this
the research,
fucking guy
pay him off a little bit?
There's a guy, the most famous guy. His name is Jeremy DeWitt, and he runs a company called Metro State, which is specifically designed to look like police. And he's a funeral escort. So he makes all his cars and stuff look like cops, and he just yells at people on the street. And he has fake lights in his car. Like, he's gotten busted he's pulled over real cops as a fake cop. Because
he thinks it's funny to do that? Like, this is like his bit? Or because he feels like he needs to help the police?
Yeah. He thinks that he is, well, now that you said it, I don't know if he thinks he's helping, but he thinks he has the right to do it, I guess.
Does he think he's Batman?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. And then it went so far as, like, he is the most famous of them, and it went so far that, like, he went on Dr. Phil. Oh, tons of them. I've watched, that's a rabbit hole. If you go into, like, cop impersonators busted or fake cops busted, the videos, I've watched YouTube body cams. I found a YouTube channel that was called Real World Police, and it's unedited body footage cam. And dude, I would watch I'm almost embarrassed to say this. I watched 3 hours worth of a cop's body footage to see this idiot guy. Like it, yeah, man, it's just unreal how dumb and the arguments. And if you were in the military, you understand how people say your rank repeatedly as condescending. Sergeant, I need you to listen. Sergeant, I'm asking you a question. Sergeant. And he just kept, there's one video where he's talking to this cop that arrested him for impersonating a cop. And he just keeps on, Sergeant, I'm asking you a question. Sergeant. And I watched like 2 hours and 50 something minutes of body footage. And that cop ignores that dude the whole fucking time. It's a level of professionalism unmatched to just be able to stand it. But then so that guy, Jeremy DeWitt.
When you say he's impersonating cops, he's actually dressing like a cop?
Well, this is the loophole. Yes. Any reasonable person who sees his car, his uniforms, the lights on his vehicles would think they're a cop. Right. But they're not, because it's amber and purple lights. Or like the police, the badge with an eagle isn't actually an eagle, it's a vulture. So it's not a cop badge because it's not an eagle, but it's a badge that says officer. But like, they are paid by funerals to escort them through lights and stuff so people don't interrupt the funeral party. But he carries a gun that shoots pepper spray pellets, but it looks like a Glock. Until you take it out of the holster, you can't tell that it's not a Glock.
Yeah.
So it looks like he has a gun. And it shoots pepper spray cartridges, and you can get it in neon yellow so people know it's not a real gun. And of course, he doesn't. Like, he carries the the black one, and the lights being purple and amber instead of blue and amber. Very minor things. But he went on Dr. Phil to try to explain why he's not impersonating a cop. And Dr. Phil did more to that dude, to ruin that dude's credit in an hour than YouTube's done in 7 years. Because Dr. Phil just took this guy's uniform on a mannequin and put it next to a cop uniform on a mannequin and was like, tell me the differences. Yeah. And as much as I hate Dr. Phil, he made that guy look like a real idiot. And even the guy's lawyer looked like a dipshit. It was great. And then
that's a good shit.
Then it leads into just all of the people that buy police badges and then try to stop people. Like, it's unreal. The people, like a guy went into a Best Buy and wanted a federal agent discount. An old man, gray hair, in a suit with a gun in his belt and a badge, and he wanted the federal agent discount on a cell phone plan. And so the Best Buy clerk called the cops, and the cops come. The cops come and ask this guy, are you carrying a weapon? And he says, yes, I'm a federal agent. And he shows them a fake badge. And they're like, this badge says something because he bought it online. And he's like, well, yeah, it's not a real gun either. And they're like,
why are you talking to me like I'm the dumb one?
Right.
Well, yeah. Like it's not real good. I mean, I know I just said it was, and I know I'm trying to get the discount right now, but I mean, you guys fucking believe that? Why would you believe that?
And then he was shocked that they'd arrest him.
Some people, you know?
One of my favorite videos, and I'll send it to you, a kid.
Oh, you should edit it in right now.
I'll tell you what. Every shithead listening to this podcast right now, I want you to understand I will publicly acknowledge, not apologize, but acknowledge that nothing will ever be edited into the footage of this podcast ever again.
As long as Josh is doing it.
It won't be edited out. It's not getting put in. Whatever we say, it's in to stay forever. And I regret ever saying, hey, put that clip of this in here. Because, man, these muscular fingers take 6 hours. If the fans of this podcast knew how long it took me to click on a fade button and drag the music up and how mad I got at it, they would never listen to us again.
Yeah.
We've had to end Zoom calls because I get so mad that my fucking
just need to take a break.
fingers.
Just need to take a little break.
I'll call you back. Let me just call you back. I'll call you back.
No, I'm just going to scream into my pillow for a second. Just hold on. We'll be right back at it.
There's a
All right,
video.
So what's the video? Yeah.
A cop is like driving down the street and he sees like an Eclipse, like a Mitsubishi Eclipse car pulling somebody over, and what's clearly a 15-year-old kid at their window taking their stuff with a badge on his pants. And the cop pulls over, is like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And this kid tells the sheriff, "Oh, I work for the sheriff's department. I was just on my way to check in for my shift. And I saw this guy speeding, so I pulled him over." And that other cop was like, "Oh, you're not supposed to pull him over in your civilian stuff. You don't have your gun belt or anything on." He's like, "That's a little suspicious." He didn't say that. He's like, "It's just a little weird to see that. So, hold on a second. I'm going to call this in." And then the cop walks back, and it's the cop's body cam. And he calls the desk, and he says, "This dumb shit just told me, or this idiot just told me that he was about to come sign in for shift." That cop is working that shift. So if the kid was really coming into work, they would be coworkers and would know each other. He's like, they're right in front. Oh man. And then the guy's like, "So I don't know what this is." They run, and the kid is just like some 17-year-old kid. Just a kid who put lights in his car and pulls people over.
So are cops uploading their body cam footage? Like, how are you seeing that?
I have no idea.
Hands up. Okay. I didn't know I asked such a dangerous question. Yeah, we gotta go, bro.
And then that just got edited out right there. The answer to that was just
the first edit.
No, I actually don't know. But it's like 4 hours. I don't know if it's like a freedom of information or like or it's the laptop that I stole from the police department. I don't. It could be anything. Oh, speaking of cops, it has been a long time since I had a whole bunch of weed in a backpack and was walking down a street in a city somewhere and trying to look normal and cool.
Yeah.
And I was never been more aware of the bright purple shirt and the mohawk I have on than when I was walking past a whole bunch of cops sitting on their cars with weed all in my backpack. Allegedly.
Yeah.
And I was like, I look like I probably got weed in this backpack. But I tell you what, I got some new stretchy jeans from Old Navy. And those cops were a little big. And I said, I can outrun them. They ain't going to get me. They couldn't catch me. Mm-hmm. And then just to prove my point, I slapped one of them and took off running.
Yeah? How'd that work out?
I'm still here. I did my show. I report to jail next week. So.
Yeah, sounds like a win to me. Last weekend, me and Travis did mushrooms. Like a lot of them.
What's that like?
Amazing. Let me tell you about it, Josh, since you don't do it daily. Josh does more of a what's it called? A microdose. Josh does like the microdosing where for the most part, I know you go crazy sometimes, but
I microdose.
Right. And I do more of a just lose a whole Saturday every couple months. That's my thing. And so me and Travis threw a bunch of mushrooms and some fruit roll-ups and fucking munched them shits up. And then we started watching TV. Normally this is our go-to, right? So we go to the grocery store first, we buy all the food, everything that we could ever want, just all the comforts around us, we roll a million blunts, and then
I don't like to smoke. I don't like to smoke on top of it.
I do. It's a nice little addition. Give it a shot when you have a moment. Travis goes crazy. Travis like drinks and shit the whole time. Like Travis is like doing all kind of stuff. But our normal go-to is we watch Shapes and listen to just like EDM music and stuff that we would never listen to. And there's like one specific video, I've talked about it on here before. There's one specific video that's just like our shit. And we just like watch that one. And I was like, I wanted to be more, and when you do that, that's kind of like the lose yourself type thing. And we were fucking like, I was definitely out there, but I still wanted to laugh. I didn't want to just like stare for 4 hours, you know what I'm saying? And so I was like, man, let's just watch like Superbad, and
Backyard wrestling.
Oh dude, that'd be amazing. Dude, when I come home, we're doing that.
I was telling you, I've got one of those bars set aside specifically.
I'm eating the whole thing.
Dude, let's
And
go.
so
Let's fucking do
yeah,
it.
we watched Superbad because I was like, yo, we've seen this movie a million times. It's like comfortable and familiar. So let's just watch that because I'll just die laughing.
I haven't seen that in a long
At that.
time.
Oh, dude, I didn't realize that the movie was so like green, like the color green is in it a lot, and I was like tripping, and the colors were fucking like just moving all over the place. Like I kept telling Travis, I was like, I feel so warm watching this movie. Like this movie makes me feel warm. Like I just, and also every time they went into a grocery store, like the very like one of the opening scenes is them going into a convenience store and all the like candy bars and stuff were so like bright and shit. And so like in my head, like the movie to me was like, man, let's go to another store, man. Let's get these characters in a grocery store right quick, bro. Let's check some of that out. Let's see some bright colors. Like but no, it was a good time. And then whenever we started coming down, we took acid and we ramped that shit up. And so yeah, we tripped for 13, 14 hours, something like that.
How different is the acid compared to the mushrooms?
It's not that much different. And it hit Travis a lot more than me. I was telling him it didn't really do as much shit to me. Like I just, continued going. Yeah, it's very similar. It's not that much different. I don't even know if I could explain.
When I was growing up, like the 90s, my teens, the late 90s, it was raves. LSD was big, ecstasy. But everything I heard was like, you could take it once, and if it's bad, you'll never come back. Like,
yeah, that's all that forever. Scared shit. Yeah.
Up until like months ago when I talked to you about taking those mushroom bars, I was still like, what if I don't ever come back? What if I
yeah.
What if I trip and don't ever come back, dude? I got kids. I got kids.
What scares me is like anytime you watch one of those like tripping documentaries or DMT documentaries, every person they talk to has the farthest stare you've ever seen. Like they're just like, and so that's what gets me. It's like I just don't want to do so much to where I look like that permanently. Like I just don't want to look like I'm just seeing through people all the time. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, it's a good time. I would say mushrooms make like my body feel better. Like there's moments like where I just feel like the most comfortable. Like at like I like lay on this futon that we have in the living room. I'm a real comic. I have a futon, and I put the futon down. I just lay there, and it just felt so good. Like sun was peeping in through the window. Just
you get that electricity.
Yeah, just start moving things. It felt really good. So it was just a good time. And me and Travis were talking about it yesterday at the show, and I was like, can you believe that was last weekend? Because it feels like an eternity ago. Like it feels like so long ago. And it was literally last weekend. Like we haven't recorded since I did that. And I didn't like that didn't click to me. So I'm just having a great time, dude. I'm excited to go on the road. I just refreshed by leaving the planet for a day. And I'm ready to go, bro. I did yoga today. I went for a walk. I'm taking these 2 weeks to get back in shape. I can't be rubbing my belly on stage. That's got to go.
Oh man.
And so yeah, I'm ready to really get at this shit.
I got back in the gym when Zoe started back at school at the Y. I told you I've been going back to the gym again. It's been 2 weeks, and it's been the greatest feeling in the world to just be able to exercise not in my backyard and to stare at people while I do it. But Zoe, so I take her to school, drop her off, and dude, she's so happy and confident at school now. She never even looks back. She just goes. And we've gotten into a routine now where she knows if she wakes up early enough, I'll take her we go and get a whole bunch of scrambled eggs before I go work out. So we go eat a whole bunch, and then I drop her off at school. So now she tries to wake up early so that we go and eat breakfast together. Mm. And the other day we were eating, and the kid is fucking hilarious. And she was staring at people, and she would look at them. She was doing this at people in the diner, doing this at people. And then when they would stare long enough, she would hold her thumb up, or she would like do the two fingers in her eyes and then point at them like she's watching them.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, Zoe, it's rude. It's rude to stare at people. And my beautiful, wonderful, perfect child looked me in the face and said, well, it's rude, but it's also really funny to look at them until they look at something else. And I was like,
That's a Josh Watts move if there's ever been one.
I've never felt more aligned with you right now in my life, because it is. There's nothing more fun than making somebody look away.
No, it's your favorite shit. My one of my favorite. I mean, I have a million stories of you doing that to people, but one of my favorite ones is right before I moved to Seattle. My ex and her new husband came to the bar that I was performing at and rented out the other side while I was performing for whatever bullshit that they had going on.
I forgot about that.
And you made them so uncomfortable. It was just my favorite fucking thing is because I took it as like, I was just like, man, I'm just staying and I'm doing my show. I'm not letting them fucking ruin my night. I'm not going to go talk to them. I didn't look at them the whole time. But you would stay. So like the way the station works is there's like doors to where the stage room is. And then on the other side of the doors is the bar room, but there's glass. You can see through the door. And Josh would stand on one side of the door and just look through the glass at those two and just stare at them the entire time and not fucking flinch. It was so goddamn good. Man, so before that happened, this happened.
I missed that. I forgot about that. God damn.
Oh, it's one of my favorite ones because you did it for me. And so
I stood directly. It wasn't hiding. I was standing directly in the doorway. Right at
just staring at him. Just staring at him. It was so fucking funny. Before, the way that I knew that she was there was, and I don't know if you remember this part of the story. I'm standing in line to get into the club, and her new husband or whatever the fuck, like he sells trailers or some shit, and this was like some kind of recruitment for people to go sell trailers or some shit. It's some kind of sales conference bullshit.
Of course it was.
Yeah, and so there's like the dudes in front of me are all there for that, and they're like kind of drunk already and are like talking real loud, and the dude turns around to me and he's all fired up, gonna recruit me into this trailer selling fucking gimmick this dude's got going on. And he turns around to me and he's like, dude, he was like, bro, you should make a lot of money, man. He was like, I was like, we're selling trailers over here, we just make a ton, blah blah blah. I was like, cool, whatever. And he's like, no, dude, let me introduce you to the guy. Let me introduce you. And then he introduces me to my ex-girlfriend and her new husband, and we looked at each other and we turned away, like we both ran away. It was like we surprised the fuck out of each other. And then I went into my side, they went into the other side. We didn't say a fucking word to each other. The dude that introduced us was confused as fuck, like just standing there like, why did they run away from each other? Why did they both take off running? And then I text you and told you the bullshit that was going on, and then that's when you came through and cleaned up.
I'll tell you right now, full transparency, I would have killed that dude if he had wanted me to. I was so ready to fucking fight him that night. And every time he has a punchable face. And look, whenever a relationship ends, it's not always the other guy's. It's not completely his fault. But I could physically punch him and be okay in society. So he's going to catch the brunt of it. I was ready to fuck that dude up. When I was still on social media for a while, I didn't unfriend her. And I would see his picture. I'd see his picture. It's 6-7 years now. You're a better human being. Your life is immeasurably better. I know they see you shining up in the sky like the Northern Star while they sit in fucking Denham Springs selling trailers to nobodies and a bunch of ain't shits, and you're up there shining so bright. I hope they see that, and I hope she cries in the back of her double wide with her 8 kids and her 6 puppies. I hope it breaks her heart to know that you're out there drinking champagne and caviar out the same glass because you don't give a fuck when you got money like that. You got a hot tub shaped like a big old pussy. I hope she knows that, and I hope she cries every night into the side of her trailer.
It is great. Every time I do, like every now and then, I'll get like a "you may know" and it'll be her. And and I just laugh every time that I see them two together because he's old. He's like 50, and so it just fucking cracks me up. But no, it's funny the way that worked out. It was, I mean, I'm not going into it much, but it's just like we were together forever. We break up the next week, like not even that. We break up on like Monday. Thursday, I have the show with James Uloth. Thursday, so like 3-4 days after we break up, I do the show with James Uloth. He books me on a 2-week tour in Canada. I go to Canada. I meet Travis. Travis convinced me to move to Seattle. I've been living off of stand-up comedy for the last 5 years because of it. And it all happened like the second we broke up. Like that, if anything, it definitely was like, oh, this is what was supposed to happen, because none of this would have happened if we were still together, because I would have had to base my decisions off of us as a couple. You know what I'm saying?
You would have ended up in a real job doing something you didn't like, and it's the best thing that could have happened for you.
Yeah, it's absolutely true.
You're too funny. She had your wings clipped, and now your wings are free, and you're soaring up high above with the Eagles. And that's what I love to see. We ate a lot of pizza rolls and drank a lot of Jack Daniels, watched a lot of wrestling for a couple of days after that.
Took me a little while to get over it. And
then you were better for it. I didn't know that you were going to go into it. I still want to fight that dude. If I ever saw him, I'd still want to fight him. My ex, while we're getting into it, my ex-wife, the guy that she cheated on me with, I saw him, I don't know, not that long ago at the Target. Jesus Christ. In Baton Rouge.
It's like your favorite place.
Yeah. And I didn't even like her as a human being. So the best thing in the world that could have happened was our relationship end. Because now I have my kids and I have my awesome wife, and it's the best thing that could have happened. But it still made my heart feel really good to see him in the Target, because he's, I don't know, 55. Like he's up there, and he is a little hobbit looking round, sorry, sad little motherfucker. And it made me happy to see him, because like my life is great. I got a huge dick. My muscles are big and fat as my wallet, and like everything's just turning up roses for me.
It's good to see that comparison. That's great.
That's the way it goes.
So I feel good.
I realize there's nothing fun. I realize there's nothing funny about that. It was just me being petty and be like, I was happy to see that he was a little weak, frail fuck.
I'm here for it. I'm here. I'm happy to see. I'm happy to see that my ex is with some old fat fuck, dude. I'm in, dude. I'm all about it.
Selling trailers, and you're out here selling dreams,
bro. I start talking, and people fucking gather around and listen, bro. So I don't.
People pay money weeks in advance to come and listen to you talk, and just to have the chance to look at you on a stage in front of them under lights. And this motherfucker has to bribe people to come listen to him try to convince them to sell trailers at a bar in Denham Springs. Come on, man. It's not even a comparison. It's not even a comparison. I hate to keep dividing the nation further after what Trump did, but I don't know how I turned that into what Trump did, but I'll tell you what.
It always is. It's always there. It's always there if we want it. Basically, we're the greatest. All of our decisions have always worked out. You guys are lucky you guys are lucky to hear us every week. Josh, you got anything else to say before we get out of
here? No. If you're around and you listen to this podcast in Lafayette, apparently people do. I met some people that listen to the show that I didn't know from comedy before. Like I didn't know them. They came up and told me they listened to our show. It was really cool. So if you listen to the show, May 13th, come out to Tourist Beer Garden and see me again.
Nice. Next week I'll be in Little Rock, Arkansas. The week after that, Oklahoma City. We'll be doing shows from those condos, and I'll update you guys on shows and everything and what's going on.
Shows in all them condos. I didn't do it. I was trying to do area codes and it didn't work out.
It's fine. Buckets of
Duckets. Like that was a topical reference. Buckets of Duckets!
Bye.